This little lens could be one of the best budget autofocus lenses for Fuji X mount and a viable, cheaper alternative to the X100V or 6. This is the TTArtisan 27mm f2.8 autofocus pancake lens, and for me it's been a relatively painless way to transform my Fuji camera into something close to an everyday carry that hits that balance between price, size, image quality, and performance. For the incredible price of around 200 Canadian dollars, you get a solid little pancake lens with autofocus. I've been carrying this lens on my X-T20 for over 5 months now, almost on a daily basis, and I found it to be a great experience. Like most of my other reviews on this channel, I won't focus too much on specs, as that can easily be found in other corners of the web and socials. Instead, I'll focus on what this lens feels like on the streets and its real-world performance and results. I've been looking at purchasing an X100V or 6 for over a year now, but the high price tags and having to wait for months just to receive your purchase was a huge turnoff for me. In the meantime, I still wanted a setup that I can take with me every day and was still within the Fujifilm system. I considered the Fuji 27mm V2, but it's double the price and I'm cheap. I also wanted a lens that I could toss around and didn't have to baby too much because it was so expensive. When you toss this on something like an X-T20, it kind of becomes similar to the X100s in size, and you're still going to get most of the Fujifilm shooting experience and image quality, but at a fraction of the price. Overall, I found the IQ to be quite good with this lens. It's sharp enough at most apertures, and overall image quality looks quite pleasing and comparable to the native Fuji lenses. There's definitely some vignetting and some flaring, but I actually think that these add character, and I think it works for street photography and gives your images a unique look. The 40mm equivalent focal length is great for my style of street photography. It's kind of similar to a classic 35mm, but with just that tiny little extra reach, which I think gives your images a little more of a cinematic look. It's a good balance between getting context for your subject, but also being able to have more contrast and subject separation from the foreground and background. While I still prefer the 35mm, it's been a fun change and challenge for me using a prime at a slightly different focal length than I'm used to. This is a pancake lens, and although it's slightly larger than the Fuji 27mm pancake lens equivalent, I don't think the difference is that significant in the real world. I like to shoot without the included lens hood in order to get the size down even more, and maybe also have some more cool flaring for character. The autofocus is fast and responsive. It hunts a little more in lower light, but nothing to be too concerned about. I've actually been very pleasantly surprised at the autofocus performance, especially given the price point of this lens. I love the aperture ring on this lens. It's super clicky, and I found that my selection actually locks into place even more than some of the native Fuji lenses that I have, like the 23 f2, which is kind of nuts considering the price difference here. The focus ring is also a nice bonus to have, along with the USB-C port for firmware updates. The build quality seems surprisingly solid to me. The lens doesn't feel cheap, and it's housed in a metal body that has taken more than a few knocks over the months that I've owned it, and have had it in my pocket and backpack running around the city. It's become my workhorse lens for street photography, and it hasn't slowed down one bit so far. I'm not sure if you can find a lens that offers better value for the Fuji system, let alone any other camera system out there. The TTArtisan 27mm autofocus pancake lens has got that perfect mix of image quality, real world performance, and great end results and photos that's difficult to find. I think this is a no-brainer purchase, even if it's just a backup lens, and certainly if it's meant to be part of an everyday carry setup that's reliable and durable. This lens has me curious about the other offerings that TTArtisan has, and it's also definitely saved me thousands of dollars in having to wait for an X100 camera that would have probably arrived way too late for me to care about. Moments on the streets don't wait for anyone or thing. Grab one of these little lenses while they're hot. If you're new to the channel, my name is Roger Prasad. I'm a street and documentary photographer based here in Toronto, Canada. And definitely don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And I will catch you guys on the streets. Take care.